Okay, good. Keep it there. I'm going to be in front of this basically the whole time, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, there we go. Well, hello there. We're going to do something a little different. Standing up. We're also going to explore some themes of Halloween. But we're going to make it kid-friendly, so that's why we've picked Disney as one of our topics. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Y.E.S. We are going to do something a little different today. I have always wanted to cover other topics other than just music reviews. Music reviews was never my intention to be always the focus on this channel. It was to focus on entertainment and music as another major category. But since it's also one of those holiday seasons right now, I think it's appropriate to talk about something that I can kind of tie into the Halloween season. Bear with me. Don't be scared. If you couldn't guess what I am right now, I am Post Malone. Check the bear. They're fake tattoos, don't worry about it. Now this is a topic I thought would just kind of be fun. One of my last videos I've been doing, I talked about how I wanted to explore more scary stuff. I'm not really into horror or suspense too much, but I've been gradually watching more suspenseful and thriller-oriented movies, so that's been kind of fun, and I'm kind of finding a line that's kind of fun. But there's still some people out there who don't really like it that much, and we stick with something safer, I guess. So what I have right here, I have here a list of what I consider the 10 best villains in the Disney animated lore. Now, what do I mean by that? I actually am trying to describe villains that not only I find kind of cool or just interesting, but also ones that I felt moved the stories along forward. They added something to it. In case you, for some reason, haven't seen any of these movies, I think there may be some spoilers ahead. I don't feel like I'm the right person to talk about that. Spoiler, what's the word? Alert, spoiler alert. Okay, yeah, so sorry about that. So yeah, 10 villains I think that are the best that I personally like. Also with the combo of how much they mean to the movies that they are in. So try to mush that together, okay? And as much as I try not to use honorable mentions so much, I did have some I wanted to include here. Now, I love the movie Tarzan, okay? And Phil Collins' soundtrack is amazing. And for some reason, I just think Clayton is kind of a cool dude. I don't think he's one of the major villains out there, but you know, he had his moment to shine. Okay, now my family knows that I cannot not mention Madame Medusa. This is one of those villains, well, I watched The Rescuers a lot when I was a kid, and this is a villain for some reason my mom would always reference. A teddy bear! She's a crazy lady. She's really crazy. She kidnapped a girl. That's pretty crazy. Now, this dude, Chyna Borg, this dude is one really crazy, scary, and powerful villain. The thing is, he's only in Fantasia for a little bit, so I can only include him a little bit for the plot of Fantasia, so that's the only reason he gets an honorable mention here. Otherwise, he is ruthless and very scary. Now, I don't rewatch Pinocchio a lot, but Pinocchio is actually kind of a scary film, actually, to me. I mean, if you go in with the mindset that I normally do, the child portion of my brain, that movie is kind of freaky. Well, when you include the villains. Now, Honest John the Fox, and Gideon the Cat, they're not the scariest villains in here. They are important, obviously, but they're not the scary ones. Stromboli and the Coachman. These two are crazy and scary. If you're a child, you a little kid, you don't want to mess around with these two, okay? You're scared. You're dying to be scared. You don't want to mess around with these two. And yes, there's Monstro. A giant whale that ate all of our favorite characters. Yeah, it's really messed up. Where's Jonah? But these other villains created something a little different. Let's start talking about them. At number 10, we have Yzma. I wanted to start out with someone who is slightly more lighthearted on paper and usually throughout the film. But this lady is really crazy. She wanted to murder Cusco so she could have the throne. That's a big deal, right? Murder? That's a bad thing. That's a villainous thing to do. And she's very vital to this movie. She really is. The great thing about it is she's also very entertaining. Well, she's entertaining, but she's got Kronk along with her, which makes it really hilarious. And I think Disney needs to do more comedies, because this is gold. Underappreciated by other film buffs or something. Basically, the fans love it. And she's one crazy villain. But we love it for that. At number 9, I have Prince John. Now, Prince John kind of comes off as a buffoon in the movie, but when we take into consideration the real history of Prince John, or mythology of Prince John, and the combination of what Prince John actually does in this movie, you know, he's really unfair to everybody, and he does have moments where you are thinking, oh, he really wants to do some bad things to not just Robin Hood, but Nottingham. He's a little twisted, power hungry. He does a lot of mean things, even though we all kind of see him as this lesser villain. But I think that he actually does a lot more damage than most people kind of put into their minds. So I'm putting him here because he done messed up with a lot of things. Like a lot. Plus, all of his scenes are really captivating. Come on, you gotta give him that. Number 8, we have Cruella de Vil. Now, I know there's a lot of Instagrams that do like gender swap kind of things. This is a villain that, if there was a guy version of it, I would probably be that sometime for Halloween. But come on, she stole puppies. She stole puppies. But she makes the movie so much better. You remember that scene when she's in the car and she goes crazy and has googly eyes? And she's just dead set on tearing everything apart. Yeah. That happened. She's one crazy lady. For a coat. For a coat of fur. My next pick is Claude Frollo. Now, I didn't actually watch Hunchback of Notre Dame a lot when I was a kid. I remember liking it. I've watched it actually more as an adult. And one of the things I do have to say, the soundtrack for this movie is fantastic. Beside the point on that, Claude Frollo is one really self-righteous dude. Now, this is a good depiction of what others perceive as the faults or wrongs of religion, and he embodies that really well. Kind of like Angela from The Office, if we're being honest. This is not the right representation of what someone claims to be doing things in the name of spirituality. We all know that because he's the villain, obviously. But he goes to great lengths to try and portray himself as not the bad guy. And it gets really twisted and more twisted. He literally was trying to stab people in the back. He was doing it figuratively and almost succeeded literally. He's kind of a twisted guy. Others embody this a lot more, especially the man who made him feel guilty. Yeah, don't forget that part. he is really central to everything that moves along in this movie. So I gotta put him here because without him, most of the story is not really going to take place. He is very vital for the entire story actually existing. And it's effective.
My next pick is King Candy!
I'm gonna guess that many of you didn't expect me to pick this one. Again, this is one of those spoiler things. King Candy is really another arcade character called Turbo in disguise. So, what happens here? He's basically just trying to take over other video games and hog all the glory for himself. And he makes things really twisted. You never really feel like there's a villain too much in Wreck-It Ralph, which I also think is one of the greatest original movies that Disney has made. But around the end, you can tell, oh dang, he is diabolical. And he's going to ruin everything for everyone else because he's only in it for his own glory. Watch yourself, kids. Boom! We got a Pixar villain here. Syndrome!
You got me monologuing, I can't believe it.
The dude felt betrayed by his hero. He has a great backstory. And you are really entertained by this guy, like a lot. But we all know, he hurt other superheroes so that he could pretend to be one. But really entertaining. Very central to basically everything else that's moving forward when we realized that little Incrediboy was going to actually twist and mess everything up for the Incredible family. Good movie. One of the best. At number 4, Maleficent. How to put this one? This woman can turn into a dragon. She controls a crow that spies on Aurora. She is pretty dang powerful to take on 3 other fairies. Makes plans and is very malicious about it. And she did this all in the name of getting offended not being invited to a party. I think Maleficent is in the movie more than I'm thinking, but I definitely know that the story focuses a lot more on Aurora and the fairies. But in the Disney lore, she's pretty vital. I mean, come on, she's pretty much leading everything in the Kingdom Hearts series. She does more than her fair share of diabolical, evil things to the fairies, to Aurora, to Prince Philip, Mickey Mouse, to Sora, etc. She does a lot of things. But in the movie, you can feel how tremendous of her presence is to everyone else. And that laugh of hers, it's pretty evil. At number 3, we have Hades. Okay, now hold on before you get kind of weird about it. I don't think that Maleficent is less evil or less powerful than Hades. If you consider the actual history of Hades, he's actually pretty dang powerful. And actually, he does prove it pretty well in the movie once his alignment plot stuff starts actually working. So he does have that. The reason I have him a little bit higher is because I feel like he's more involved in Hercules, in the movie. And he's really entertaining. Despite him doing a lot of twisted, evil things, he is really entertaining. He's one of the best character villains Disney has made. And I have to put him here because he just really knocks it out of the park. At number 2, I've got Jafar. This guy is the evil version of what we call suave. I always wanted that staff when I was a kid. Anybody else feel that? You will order the princess to marry me. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but... But you're so old. And then he's actually pretty smart with his wishes. We all know the third one didn't work out super well, but it wasn't the dumbest wish you could have made. He became really powerful. And he could have really done more damage to the universe if he had gotten away with it. And my number 1 pick. My number 1 pick is Scar Now, why would I choose Scar over all these other villains, which most of them have some sort of power, mystic or extraterrestrial or who knows what. I chose Scar, one, because we get to actually see his plans come to fruition in really, really big fashion, and his damage is done to family members. Straight up. He deceives, he's jealous, and seems to just know when to take control and how to make everyone else think something else so that he can kind of stay in the position that he wants to. He's very good at mind games. He was, in his own words, prepared. And yeah, I'll come out with it a little bit. Lion King, my favorite Disney movie. So a little biased there, but I do think that he was the villain who got enough screen time, had enough effect on the plot and the problems and the issues, and enough of us were interested in him as much as we were as the protagonists, Simba, Timon, Pumbaa, everyone else. We cared about what was going to happen with Scar. We didn't want him to get powerful, but we were interested in what was going on with his weird, crazy, lion share brain mind. And there you have it, guys. Those are the Disney villains I think are the most effective and kind of, in a way, my favorite villains in the 10 Disney movies I have mentioned. Now, that doesn't mean that these are my favorite Disney movies, but I do think these villains make them really, 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 really good. So, yeah. We'll see if I can do other Disney things in the future. I would really like that. But, this is about Halloween, and this is just kind of a fun thing that I thought, we can kind of twist it in there, we can make it work. That's fun. And I hope I didn't freak any of you out with my costume. Clearly, it's not one of the best costumes ever, but hey, these took a while. This took a while to make. Bear. Rawr. So that's what I have for you today. Let me know if you have any other suggestions of what I can do for videos similar to these. Anything with a list, anything with Disney, anything with Halloween, anything with anything. Come on, just let me have some suggestions so I can have some more fun, so that you can have some more fun. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time. There's so many that I could have mentioned. We got Gaston here, we got the guy from Atlantis, Mother Gothel, even Iago could have been some villain or anything like that. Snow White's queen, Shan Yu. I kind of wanted to include Shan Yu, but he's just kind of a typical bad guy.